Hello and a very warm welcome. Dr. Abhishek here. In this video, we are going to discuss your preparation plan for the UPSC 2023. It really doesn't matter if you are a newcomer or if you have been preparing for a while, because I have made this calendar keeping in mind that anyone who's serious about 2023 examination should be benefiting with this 5-phase plan. So, as it is obvious that the entire preparation period that is available from now, that is middle of July 2022, until the main examinations of 2023, has been divided into 5 phases. In each phase, I have gone into the details of what your target should be, how should you divide your time, and how much time you really need to devote in an individual phase. All of this is coming up in this video. And before we move any further, this video is brought to you by Evolution and IAS. We both are working hard to bring meaningful courses for you for your civil service and Indian Forest Service examination. For our courses, you may like to visit these websites. Now, let us start, and what are the things that we are going to share in this video. First and foremost, let us give a look on the UPSC examination calendar of 2023, because that is going to give us some idea of how much time we have got in our hand, and based on that we will be able to divide this available time into a specific phases, and we will be setting target for a specific phases. Then we are going to see the tasks up ahead of you. It is not an exhaustive list of tasks, but yes, it includes most of the vital tasks that you should be completing before you face a specific stage of the examination. Then I have divided the entire available preparation period into 5 phases. In the last part, what I have done, that I have gone into the details of each phase, such as how much time you have available, how much daily effort you should be investing, what should be the division of your time on daily basis for a specific targets, so on. And in the beginning only, let me tell you that the phases 1, 2, 3, 4 apply to all the candidates for the next year's examination. The phase 5 is applicable only to the candidates who are also aspirant for the Indian Forest Service, because in the phase 5 we are going to take a look into the Indian Forest Service main examination preparation. Let us now start with the UPSC calendar, that how does the UPSC calendar look like for 2023. Many of you might have already seen this, but let us start from here so that we all are on the same page. So it is very obvious that the 3 major examinations that are relevant to you are the combined prelim, which is for the civil service as well as for the Indian Forest Service. This prelim examination is going to take place on 28th of May, and from now, that is presuming middle of July, until the prelim, you have got close to 10.5 months. So it looks like a lot of time, but at the same time, it is in this time period when we have to complete a lot of tasks. So apparently, this is going to be the busiest part of your preparation, and impact wise, your effort in this phase is going to decide the rest of your journey in 2023 examination. So be very, very serious about these 10.5 months time. I would like to summarize it like this, that indeed you have ample time to prepare. So आप लोगों में से जितने लोग newcomer हैं who feel that this is not enough time and I should be thinking of 2024 so on, no, I will very strongly say that you have ample time to prepare for 2023 examination, but at the same time, those who feel that this is quite a lot of time, let me tell you that you have no time to waste. So ample time to prepare, no time to waste should be your approach to look at the next year's preparation. Okay, so that is the first landmark coming up next year. What is the next landmark? Obviously, the civil service main examination. So the civil service main examination is taking place, that is starting on 15th of September 2023. So from the prelim, you have got another 15 weeks, that is almost 3.5 months. before you go for your main examination. This looks like a tight space, but if you have prepared well before the prelim, and if you have taken care of most of your main examination requirement before the prelim, this phase is not going to be as tough, as challenging that it looks like today. So a lot will depend on how you have utilized your time in the first phase. The last examination will be the written examination, written main examination for the Indian Forest Service. So that is the last examination. It is starting on 26th of November next year, 2023. So those of you who are going to face the IFS, so this is when the written stages of the examination will be over. And after this, all of you will be getting into the interview, or in the official language, the personality test preparation. So, well, this is how the calendar looks like. Now, what are the major tasks up ahead of you? I do not intend to be scary at all at this point, but yes, you have to finish a lot of things. Let us see. In core preparation, first and foremost, you will be covering the GS core part. What is the GS core part? By GS core, I mean seven foundational areas which are important for both prelim as well as the main examination. Let us start with history. So history has got the major, or let us say the 90% weightage on Indian history. The smaller weightage on world history is given only at the main examination level in paper 1. Rest entire history as well as the cultural facets of history forms the core of the history part, and that pertains only to Indian history. So first core area is history, primarily Indian history. Second core area happens to be Indian polity, governance, and the overall administrative system, which will of course come under governance, and part of it, so far as constitutional and the statutory bodies are concerned, it will be coming under the polity also. The third part will be Indian economy and development. Fourth part is, of course, geography. Fifth part is environment and ecology. And within this, you can include also disaster management. The next part, that is the sixth part, is going to be general science and technology. And seventh part is going to be the current issues, current affairs, and their analysis. So these are the seven foundational parts which have a big role for you in the overall examination. So they are the only seven parts in the prelim, and they form a very big part of the main examination. Apart from that, you also have to prepare general studies advanced topics. By advanced topics, I mean those topics which find a mention only and only in the main examination. Take, for example, the GS paper 4, that is ethics, integrity, and aptitude. It has no trace in preliminary stage. Similarly, you can take internal security, social justice, also international relation, although some of the international relations questions featured in this year's prelim examination, but mostly the analytical type of international relation is only for the main examination. Similarly, in paper 1, you have world history, you also have social issues. So these are the topics which I call as advanced topics because they are important only for the main examination. You should be covering majority of the advanced topics before the prelim, and as we are going to see it in the calendar also. Then you must be covering your optional subject timely so that you have ample time to revise and practice. Plus, in core preparation only, current affairs, awareness, issues, analysis, all of it must be covered. So that is your core preparation. After core preparation, you will be moving to prelims focus. By prelims focus, we would mean that you will be revising for the prelim, you will be practicing for the prelim, and you will also be gaining strength or gaining proficiency and speed in the CSAT part, because both these parts will ensure that you are actually facing the main examination and you are in the race for the real stage of the examination. And once you are done with the prelim, you would be getting into the mains focus mode. So when you are talking about the mains focus mode, so you are going to talk about the GS advanced answer writing. That will be crucially important because most of the GS advanced topics, they are rooted in current issues, and there the questions require you to synthesize very good answer from very diffuse sources. The sources are newspapers, magazines, and compilations, whereas the sources are basically diffuse. But if you look at the answers, they always have to be concrete. So from diffuse sources, writing concrete answer is possible only when you have practiced a lot. So practicing will be a very important part for your main examination preparation. Then in optional subject, where the percentage score obtained by you is going to be really very high, in optional subject also, after going through your subject, after revising it at least once, you will need to devote a considerable time and energy in its practice. And of course, essay forms a very important part. 250 marks have been allocated to this. And interestingly, essay is a paper where you have a really good chance of scoring high. So you have got to prepare essay and you have got to practice essays a lot. So these are the things which are up ahead of you by name of tasks. And obviously I have not included some degree of attention and effort going into your personality grooming, your communication grooming, uh, polishing your writing skills, preparing for the compulsory papers also for that matter. So these are also the things which will require effort. But since I'm considering them a low intensity effort, so I have not included them under the task list. But these are also the tasks sooner or later you will have to look after. Now, what are the phases of preparation? Before we get into the phases of preparation, let me show you this map. So I'm presuming that most of you would have watched this video before 15th of July 2022. So from 15th of July 2022 till 31st of December 2022, that is end of this calendar year, I am proposing phase 1. Then from 31st of December 2022 until 31st of March 2023, I am proposing phase 2. What all you are going to do in these phases, I am going to discuss in the subsequent slides. Then from 1st of April 2023 until the prelim examination of 2023, that is 28th of May 2023, I am proposing the third phase of your preparation. Then just after the commencement of the prelim examination, not commencement, conclusion of the prelim examination, you will be getting into phase 4 of your preparation. In the phase 4, you are going to focus entirely on developing your abilities for the civil service main examination. Then the main examinations start on 15th of September and they will be getting over latest by 25th of September. Then you will have exactly 8 weeks or 2 months time to go before the IFS mains takes place. If you are not a candidate for the Indian Forest Service, you can skip the phase 5 of discussion. Now, in each part, what I have done, I have created a table for you. But even before I go to these tables for each part, I will highly recommend that please treat these tables as a template. And please feel free to modify these tables after you have watched this video. Then these tables are no longer my tables. They should become your tables, which you are free to modify to suit your particular preparation requirements. If you are a beginner, then I would say no change is required. But if you are at some stage of preparation journey, then you may need to change the table because there are certain areas जहाँ पे आप already comfortable हो गए, where you are already comfortable. So you must be giving less time to those areas and you can then gainfully use that time for certain other areas where you think you need to put in more effort. So these tables rather than being the definitive table, these tables should be treated as a template or a suggested table with full liberty available to you to make changes. Now, let us move to the individual phases. There are 5 phases of your preparation journey. Phase 1 looks like this. Let me bring all the information on the screen first. So yes, so this much information for phase 1. So phase 1 runs from 15th of July until 31st of December 2022. So if you look at it, you have got 5.5 months in your hands, and expected daily study I am expecting from you is 10 hours, and if you can, then plus 2 hours. Many of you might be thinking two things. Number one, some of you, having watched so many videos on YouTube and all, might be thinking, only this much, is it enough? My point is, 10 hours done consistently is good enough to make you crack this examination. If you can add 1 or 2 more hours, it will do wonders. The key lies in consistency. The second set of students would want to ask me, uh, 10 hours every day, do we have to study this much? Here, yes, I will kind of support this 10-hour to 12-hour calculation by saying that if you want to clear 2023 examination, I'm not talking about 2024 examination, 2025 examination, we are talking about 2023 examination. So yes, if you are serious about clearing 2023 examination, this is the time you need to invest. If you can crack in lesser time investment, great for you. But I'm just being conservative. I'm just trying to suggest a number which you can achieve without causing imbalance in your personal life, without neglecting your health, your social life, your mental well being. So 10 to 12 is something that you should be able to uh, kind of do every day. So, now what are your action areas? First and foremost, in this phase, you are going to take 2 static areas per day. Okay, 2 static areas of general studies. And each static area needs to be given 2 hours. Plus 2 hours have to be given to current issues and analysis. And when I say 6 hours, GS static area 1, 2 hours, GS static area 2, 2 hours, and then current issues and analysis, another 2 hours. So this is 6 hours. And when I say 6 hours, it includes the time that you are spending in your coaching institute. If you are taking a coaching online or offline, whatever, then I would say that it includes the time, not excluding that time. It includes the time that you are spending in your coaching institute. So let us suppose that you are spending 3 hours in your coaching institute. So another 3 hours that you are having available to yourself, do it for general studies. Then what you will have to do, you will have to align your static areas to the topics being covered in the coaching institute. You will have to align your current issues and analysis part to the coverage plan followed by your coaching institute. I hope you are understanding my point. So it is not excluding, rather it is including the time that you are spending with your coaching institute. Apart from that, you should be giving 4 hours to your optional subject. This is the time to do your optional subject. These 5.5 months are most crucial 5.5 months with respect to optional subject. Nowadays, what I'm noticing that majority of the students end up taking their optional subjects lightly, but pay a very heavy price in the main examination. I would say be cautious, take the things conservatively, and pay attention to your optional subject the way it ought to be paid. Because remember, the optional subject is going to give you the highest percentage return. When in general studies, getting 50% looks like impossible, general studies is kind of going to drag your preparation a bit. On the other hand, the optional subject promises you 60% or above kind of a score. So percentage return in optional subject is very, very high. GS, you are doing already 6 hours, but do not neglect your optional subject. So you should be doing your optional subject and you should be finishing your optional subject in these 5.5 months, so that later with lighter, low intensity revision also, you do not lose your grip over your optional subject. So that completes your 10 hours. Now, if you have some more time available to you, I will highly recommend that you should be writing optional answers at least 3 days a week. So I'm proposing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And you should be writing answers for GS mains, because GS mains require a serious skill building with respect to answer writing. So I would suggest that at least 3 days a week for 1 hour every day, you should be doing GS mains answer writing. So you can keep it Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And if you can spend 1 more hour, that means if you are willing to take it to 12 hours every day, then you should be building your CSAT basics 3 days a week. That could be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever suits you. And then you should be doing GS prelim practice by solving objective questions as you are covering the areas. So by solving objective question, you should be increasing your question solving proficiency. So if you are willing to give 12 hours, then you will be able to put in a lot of practice before this year ends. And 5.5 months of consistent practice, even if you are investing just 1 hour a day, this means quite a lot, and you will realize its importance next year when you are getting closer to the examination. So that is how your phase 1 will look like. By the end of phase 1, all the foundational areas of GS should be over. That will mean history, geography, Indian polity, economy, science and technology, environment, and current affair is going to be an ongoing thing. So if you are not sure about what to read, how to maintain this kind of pace, you may want to join a coaching class, Evolution, or whatever you decide to do. But you should be taking help before it is too late. And I highly recommend not experimenting with any of your precious civil service attempt. So, well, that is how phase 1 will look like. Now we are moving into phase 2. Phase 2 runs from 1st of January 2023 until end of March 2023. Now here what you are going to do, that in these 3 months, you are going to cover GS advanced areas for mains. As many advanced areas you can cover for GS mains, you should be doing. Like you could be doing internal security, you could be doing disaster management, you could be doing social justice, you could be doing social issues, you could be doing international relations. These are some of the topics that you have to study exclusively for the main examination. So spending 2 hours every day, either with help of your coaching institute or without the help of coaching institute, but assign 2 hours every day, so that as much of advanced topic you can do, you should be finishing in this phase only. You might be feeling, oh my God, I'm getting closer to the prelim examination and now I'm doing these advanced topic. No, I have assigned a good amount of time for prelim examination revision also, but do not ignore the advanced topic, because if you ignore it now, it will come back as a burden after the prelim. So you should be disposing of as much advanced topic as possible in these 3 months. It is not yet very late. Then GS foundational area revision. The areas which are going to be vital for the prelim examination, revise them every day at least for 3 hours. If you can, do GS answer writing also 1 hour, because if 1 hour every day, because if you are not doing that, you will be weak in answer writing. But if you are too pressurized, ignore this part and increase the revision time for the prelim. So this third row, that is GS answer writing for main, you can drop it if you are feeling too pressurized for the prelim, and you can give this 1 hour also for GS foundational area revision, something that you have covered in phase 1. Now every day you have to practice questions and you have to get as many questions as possible. So the question papers given by your coaching and question papers prepared and circulated by any reputed coaching institution, get those question paper, try solving them. And when you are solving them, check each and every explanation, whether you got the question right or you did not get it right, because these explanations will be filling a lot of gap in your understanding, in your factual base, and that is critically important. So, very, very highly recommended that now in this phase, you should be spending 2 hours every day on practice. This will be a real game changer. Do not drop current affairs yet. Keep investing 2 hours. Your source should ideally be the newspaper, but even if you are relying on some sort of compilation and all, though I do not agree much with them, but even if you are relying on them, be consistent with them and keep giving 2 hours. Do not get swayed by the observations that now current based questions are being asked less and all. See, exactly direct current event based questions might be getting asked less and less, but current related awareness still forms the backbone of your prelim examination. So if you are not studying current affairs and related awareness, related academic things, you will be putting your prelim examination prospects at risk. Let's not let's not do that. Okay. Now, finally, in this phase, you should also be revising your optional subject minimum 2 hours a day. Why? Because if you do not revise the optional now, after the prelim, you will again feel totally blank about your optional. So for 3 months, spending only 2 hours a day, you should be revising optional subject. If you are extremely, extremely pressurized for the prelim, give only 1 hour to optional, but do give that time to optional so that after the prelim, you are not blank. Every year, I see a lot of candidates coming to me after the prelim, sometimes coming to me after the prelims result, but not adequately prepared for their optional subject. This is a very sorry sight, but it is too late to be rectified. Don't let this happen to you. Therefore, this is the time to be aware of what are the things which can pressurize you, which can affect your chances of doing well in the main examination. You should be knowing all of these things much in advance so that you can take action to rectify that. Okay. And this is how your 12 hours will be completed. So these 12 hours are needed now in the second phase. So even if you were doing 10 hours in the first phase, in the second phase, you should be doing 12 hours. And mind it, with 12 hours a day, still you can balance your social well being, physical well being, mental well being, all of these things. So it does not throw your life out of balance at all. You just need to plan your time well and give the needed amount of time to all of these aspects of your life apart from your preparation. Now, moving to phase 3. So, phase 3 is going to be dedicated exclusively for the prelim examination. Now, there is nothing happening at all for the main examination. So, this is the time of 1.5 months, 45 days, which will be the real game changer, which will convert all your diffuse preparation into concrete preparation for the prelim examination. So in these 1.5 months, you need to put in 12 hours a day. Revise GS foundational area 1 for 3 hours, another GS foundational area for another 3 hours. Like simultaneously, you could be taking economy and polity. Simultaneously, you could be taking history and geography. Simultaneously, you could be taking science and technology and environment, so on. So now two foundational areas are traveling together, and all that you have to do is to revise. And mind it, you are now in the second cycle of revision. So this revision is going to be much faster. Then CSAT practice must be 1.5 hours a day, and GS prelims practice must be 2.5 hours a day. Try to practice even the papers which you have attempted a month before or something. You will be surprised to see that you are still committing mistakes and there are still things to learn from those papers and their explanations. And as I told you earlier, that you should be getting as many test papers as possible from the reputed institutes and publications so that you never run short of the questions to practice. And lastly, keep giving time to your current affairs source. It could be anything. A lot of people will say, no, at this stage, you should drop the current affairs. Reason being that now the prelim questions are already set. My point is, still give 1 hour to newspaper and 1 hour to your current affair compilation, which you have prepared for the prelim examination. But current affair, till you have faced the interview, current affairs should be getting at least 2 hours of serious effort from you. That is phase three. After phase three, trust my words, you will be doing very, very well in the prelim examination. You will be one of those rare candidates who would not even need to check the answer keys, because you will be knowing that I have marked enough questions correctly to be in the list for writing the main examination. You have to be that candidate. And much of it will start right from 15th of July. If you are building it brick by brick, you will be reaching that stage in your preparedness that you will be appearing in the examination, and coming out of the examination hall, you will be nearly certain about the outcome. So be that candidate and put in effort from right now. Now we are coming to phase 4. Phase 4 starts from 1st of June and it will continue until 15th of September, rather 25th of September, because it is in phase 4 when you are preparing intensively for the main examination. There is not much time available. 3.5 months. You will be needing to put the same 12 hours. Do not increase it, otherwise, it will cause imbalance and you will not be at the peak of your mental alertness. So let that be 12 hours, but make the best use of these 12 hours. Now you have to put equal time division between GS advanced areas. I have already defined what is GS advanced area, and then GS foundational area. Equal time is split, 2.5 hours and 2.5 hours. Every day, at least 1 hour, you should be writing for the main examination general studies. At least 1 hour. You should be doing current issues and analysis at least 2 hours. Keep it separate. Why? Because look at the areas which depend on current issues and analysis. Social issues in paper 1, Indian polity, social justice, governance, international relation, all areas of paper 2, all areas of paper 3, that is Indian economy, technology, environment, disaster management, internal security, all of these will depend on current affairs. And finally, a good number of questions in the paper of ethics, integrity, and aptitude will also be depending, or at least will be rooted in current affairs. So, current affairs, if you're not giving it enough time, you will be finding yourself in a problem. So, you have to do this and set aside 4 hours for the revision and practice of optional subject. Do not ignore it. Remember, the percentage yield of optional subject is going to be the highest, way higher than what GS or SA could offer you. Right? So this is how it is going to look like. Okay. Now, if you are a civil service aspirant, then you have to end here in a way that your written part will get over here, and now you will be getting into the mode of personality test preparation. But if you are an IFS aspirant, then phase 5 awaits you. And before you leave this video thinking that you are a civil service aspirant only, let me remind you that this video has been brought to you by Evolution and ISGS. Now phase 5 for the candidates who are going to face the Indian Forest Service main examination. So one good thing that the UPSC has done, that it has created a complete 2-month gap between the civil service main and the IFS main. This turns out to be ample time to let you prepare very nicely for the IFS main examination. Same 12 hours, but now you are going to invest 3 hours on GK for IFS main, there is only one paper, and since much of it overlaps with the prelim, so you would not need to put in a huge amount of new effort. Yes, you will need to bring in a lot of writing practice, you will need to bring in some current updates, all of these things will be there. But 3 hours a day, consistently given over a period of 2 months, will take care of this. English needs to be practiced. Number one, its marks are added. Number two, a lot of candidates pay a heavy price for underestimating it. So English needs to be given its time. Then GK and English practice should be done every alternate day. 3 days a week, GK answer writing, 3 days a week, English answer writing, but do it for 2 hours whenever you are attempting it. Then you have got two optional subjects. So optional subject 1 revision, 3 hours, optional subject 2 revision, 3 hours, and this revision also includes the writing practice. So if you are going for IFS main, these are your priorities for the last 2 months. Once you are done with that, take rest and start looking for the personality test. How to go about preparation for personality test will be a subject of one of my later videos. Let the main examination of 2023 get over, and I will be creating a video for the help of all those candidates who have faced this year's main examination. But I hope all of you who are looking at 2023 examination would have found this video useful, and I sincerely hope that many of you will be adopting this calendar into your preparation and will be benefiting from it. In the end, I would really like to again remind you that use these calendars, these time divisions as a template, but feel free to modify them suiting your requirements. So that is all in this video. I hope you found it useful, adding value to your preparation journey. So till we meet again, goodbye and good luck to you. Goodbye.